Well, hello everyone.
I'm Vijay.
How's it going, Michael?
Very good. And you?
Good, excellent. Thank you very much. So a little bit something different for us here is we decided to start this podcast because we think every company has a story.
Yeah.
What we're willing to do with this, what we wanted to do with this podcast is telling ours, right? So exploring the journey about Basement Systems Quebec and now Basement Systems Toronto,
Yeah.
from humble beginnings to where we are today.
Yeah.
The values, decisions, the people that shape the business. And today I'm honored to have as our first guest, of course, our fearless founder and CEO
Yeah.
of Basement Systems Quebec and Basement Systems Toronto, Michael Haydamous.
Yeah. Thank you.
How are you,
Pleasure
Michael?
to be meeting with you. Although I know you get pleasure to be sitting across the table with you and listening to your question.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah.
So to start us off, can you tell us a little bit about your background and what first drew you into the foundation repair and basement waterproofing industry?
Well, I'll talk about my background, for people to know who I am as a person.
Yeah.
I was born in Lebanon during the peak of the war time. I get to go through that period. Despite all those difficult times, I managed to go to American University, the best university in Lebanon and probably in the Middle East as well. And I got my engineering degree there. And through the tough times, I managed to pay the high tuition fees of that university. And after I graduated, I worked in that region for a while. I spent a few years in Saudi Arabia. And I did engineering, construction business. We used to build shopping malls and big buildings, institutions, and so on. And I decided to come to Canada.
What led to that decision? How did that come about?
I loved Canada. Canada is a place where, number one, human rights. It's a place that respects the person, the humans. That's very important for me. And I got married at that time. I want my family to grow, my kids to grow in a safe place where they are respected, where they could plan for the future, we could build something for the future. And what you work for gets awarded for what you work for. So that's the number one reason I chose Canada. So I came here, not knowing what to do. I quit my job and I came here. So the first thing I had to start, I wanted to start on the right foot. So I joined the MBA program at Concordia University, John Molson School of Business. I spent about 2 years there, a bit less. I graduated from the MBA. I wanted to do finance. I had some kind of finance fanciness. Let's say I wanted to be in finance and know more about finance. So I worked a bit in finance, but my real passion is engineering and construction. And I got back to that thing. So after the finance, I joined a company out of Chicago, American company, that consulting firm, where we do consulting for small businesses. And mostly they used to send me to customers, to businesses that are in construction, being in construction background. Through that, I met a dealer of basement systems.
Okay.
I met a company, basically, a guy in Vermont, one of my last jobs. And we became friends and I got to know the business well. I've seen many businesses by that time. I've seen lots of businesses, small businesses, and how they are run. And when I've seen Basement Systems, he's a dealer of Basement Systems using the products of Basement Systems, I loved it. I said, okay, this is the kind of business I want to do. And it happened that he told me that they have nobody distributing the products in Montreal.
Okay.
So I got to meet Larry Janeski. Through him, he introduced me to Larry, and then we started from there.
Wow.
So yeah, I quit my job in consulting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that part of the plan, or was that just the fact that you ran into him and you were intrigued by it?
Yeah, working as a consultant for small businesses, I realized how much a small business what potential in small business. It doesn't have to be always big corporations and big businesses. I found that I worked in big companies in Saudi Arabia and in Lebanon. And when I worked with small companies, I found you could do very well. and still in a family business, a good vibe, a good environment, if you know how to build it.
Yeah.
So I started thinking that I don't need to be a CEO of a big company. I just could have my own small business and be the CEO of that business and be happy and have around me the people that I could enjoy and have them. So this idea was kind of growing in my head, and the opportunity came up.
And here we are today.
And here we are. So
No longer a small company anymore.
So I decided to start my business, quit my job, and I took my chance. I said, okay, that's what I want to do.
That's incredible.
And I'm going to put all my hands on the table.
That's crazy to have the just the wherewithal to do that and take that, that I know the story obviously behind it, having worked here for 2 years. Every time you tell the story, it's still incredible how we started in a small little office, actually in your apartment. You had nowhere to park the truck. Just a great story overall.
Yeah.
But at the time when you decided to make this decision, like obviously, knowing you did your research for sure. But what problems do you think that homeowners in Quebec at the time were facing that were not being properly addressed?
It was known that they do what we call French drain on the west side for waterproofing, say. And I love the product of basement system, the water guard, the super sound, the triple safe, all these kind of thinking out of the box solutions for homeowners. At the time, nobody was thinking this way. Then I said, okay, that's an efficient way, a good way of making a home dry, or the whole home dry all the time, all the life of the house. And I believe in that, and I've seen it. I worked in it, in that company in Vermont, not working physically at that point, but I've seen how they operate and the customer base they have. And I believe in that product at that point. Yeah, so that's what made me take a chance and jump in. I didn't know much about the market here.
Yeah.
It was a gambling.
Yes, huge gamble for you.
A gamble, but knowing businesses and talking with that person in Vermont, and he told me there's a big market in this domain. And he told me Montreal, you must have. It was a leap of faith.
Yes, there was.
It was a leap of faith.
Yeah. And we didn't have the problems that we have today in terms of flooding and all that. So it was a calculated gamble,
Yeah.
I would say. So after being successful in Quebec for, at the time, probably 16 years, what led you to open a second location, give you the courage to move into a new province and a new city in Toronto?
Yeah, actually, I started 2005, my business in Montreal, 20 years now. In 23, I was at that time 17 years or so, and not my age, 17 years in business. And my business got to be established here in Quebec. We had good team, great team. It runs like a well-oiled machine. People know what they do. We built a great company that can run without me having to be there, babysitting them every day. They can do their job on their own because we have proper process and proper training. Training is a key. So it's running properly. So at that point, I started thinking of a new challenge. I want to have a new challenge. Okay, I got to this point. My company is still growing in Quebec and doing very well, but I had a year to the early starting of something.
Yeah.
And Toronto is the natural expansion.
Okay.
The next step.
That's great. That's actually great. We spoke briefly before about values and what led you to come to Canada, and you love the Canadian values. But what personal values influence you and how you run your company day to day, whether it be here in Quebec or in Toronto?
We care. Number one, we care for people. We care for the people we serve. Every home we serve, we take it as on us. We take it to the heart.
Yeah.
I like every customer that get our service to be served as if I'm serving my own home. And the people as well, we care among each others. It's very important that we care internally. We cannot care about others if we don't care about each other. We cannot care about outside people if we don't care internally about each other. So we start by really taking care of each other's, having the back of each other's here, caring for each other's. And important, caring is one thing, and know how to care is something else. To know how to care, you need training.
Yeah.
So we put lots of emphasis on training. We spend maybe more than any other company. Maybe the big corporates wouldn't spend this many hours on training that we spend like every day. There are a couple of hours on a different department, training and meetings and reviewing and watching videos and role playing and looking at situations and getting always the mentality things can be better. No matter how good they are, they always can be better and they always can improve. Nothing is set in stone. We always improve.
I can attest to that, being part of the company now for 2 years, as I mentioned before, the ongoing training and, caring about our clients, and it is the truth. So I just had to double, confirm that for sure. So for someone who hasn't heard of, Basement Systems Quebec or Basement Systems Toronto, how would you describe what we do?
We make homes a better place to live in. That's in a few words. We are in the home improvement business, and our goal to make the home or the house a good home, a place where people have a nice living space where they don't have to worry about being humid, being wet, being cold, being ugly. It's a nice home that I enjoy coming back in the evening after work to my home, and that's my kingdom. And that's our main thing in the business. Also, we do waterproofing, basement waterproofing, we do basement insulation, foundation insulation, we do structural support for walls, for foundations, we lift foundations, we insulate the attics, but they all fall under making the home a better place.
Why are basement and foundation issues often misunderstood or ignored?
Because they are not seen. Good point. People see more what's in the kitchen, in the countertop, the paint, but what's the footing under the ground, people don't see it.
True.
They know about it when the problem happens. Sometimes it's a bit late, or you don't know you have a problem with your drainage system for around the house, water or drainage system, unless you have water in your basement. You don't see it. You wake up one day and you see 1 inch of water, or maybe less water running in your basement, and then it's a wake up call. Things could have been avoided earlier, or could have been prevented by thinking ahead. I mean, the construction industry made in a way that a fresh drain around the house is destined to block.
Yes.
Okay, and because it is in the mud down next to the footing, over the earth over it, and the water goes down and brings down with it the mud.
Yes.
And eventually that pipe, so that perforated pipe that's supposed to collect the water, eventually will fill up with mud and clogged. Or a pump fails, or wherever the pipe is supposed to empty, discharge somewhere, either in the internal pump or somewhere in the storm drain outside. At any of these points of that whole circuit, if any point is cut, say a pump stops working, affects the whole system. Yeah, people don't know about this stuff because they don't see them every day, and they realize when the problem happens.
When it's
Unfortunately, most of the situations we face.
okay. So here's the key question: what sets Basement Systems Quebec and Basement Systems Toronto apart from our competitors in the industry? What sets us apart? What makes us different?
We don't cut corners. We do things right. We do things right no matter what. Okay? Do it fast. Do it. Don't wait, in other words. Do it now. Do it right. Okay? And don't cut corners. And we have the expertise of doing it right. Yeah. Okay? Some people want to do it right, don't know how to do it right. We have the whole experience. We could fall back on our 20 years of experience, plus on the hundreds of other companies like us who are part of a network all over North America of basement systems dealer and foundation support works dealer, that we meet together, we share knowledge and experience. There are conventions every year, we have meetings, we have trainings, and we get together those thousands of brains, if you want.
Yeah, it's a lot of knowledge.
That we get to share this experience and to know what's best, what works best.
Awesome. What does it mean to you? I know how I feel about this, but what does it mean to you when our homeowners tell us through Google reviews or emails that we solved their problem in their home and that we made their home, as you mentioned before, a healthy home that they never thought that could have been solved? What does it mean to you? What is it? How do you feel about that when you see those?
I feel there's a mission. I feel in my mission in life. I'm participating in something worth in life.
Mhm.
You know, it feels okay. I'm adding, although it's a small dent, but I'm having a role in the community, in life in general.
Yeah.
This makes me feel that, and I'm a good participant to this whole good of the society.
Yeah. I think we are. I think we definitely are. I love that answer. Over the years, how have you seen the industry changing, and do you foresee more change? And how is your company preparing for that?
The industry changed a lot. When I got into this business 20 years ago, some people were laughing at me. I mean, you do this on the inside with water guard and this was that. And nowadays that we are successful, we have lost thousands of customers, happy customers, of course, that have their basement dry forever. Everybody wants to imitate us now. And the people that used to criticize us, now they want to imitate us. They want to do the same thing. Yeah, they could imitate now the method, the product, but they cannot imitate the spirit that we have in this company.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah. This is the spirit of really caring, the spirit of winning, the spirit of loving our customer, loving each others. It's beyond. We don't serve a home. We serve the people. We serve the people living in that home. And that's our foundation.
Remember, Michael, that imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Yeah.
So we must be really, really flatter a lot. If for those people listening or watching this podcast, what would you give homeowners one piece of advice about protecting their home? What would it be?
When you see signs, sometimes there is a signs that people get to ignore and think, okay, it will go by, they go by themselves. Some little crack here, some little water here, or humidity, or dampness, or some cold in the house in the winter. Let them consult. Let them call us, people like us. We do free estimations. We go inspect the house, we have a look, and we give them our opinion. The more people wait, the worse the problem could become. A problem would not go away by itself.
Yeah.
So the best way to deal with it is to fix it now and fix it right. Don't cut corners, don't do patches, because by doing one patch after the other, add them together, plus the paint, plus the aggravation is very more costly than doing it right from the beginning.
And fix it with us. That's a great way to end the podcast. So, Michael, I want to thank you so much for taking the time today and having this wonderful conversation. I hope everyone, could learn a little bit about, keeping their home, and will contact us for any help that they need in the future for that. So, thanks again. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.